Hey guys, welcome back to Trending 10s. Today we're going to be looking at movies that were so bad they had to cancel the sequel. Before we get into the video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss any of our banger uploads. Without further ado, let's jump into it. At number 10, E.T. 2, Nocturnal Fears. E.T. the Extraterrestrial, as the endearing extraterrestrial that swept us off our feet. Just a month after E.T. debuted and became a box office sensation, director Steven Spielberg and screenwriter Melissa Mathison began writing an idea for a sequel. The plan was for Elliot and his pals to be abducted by a nasty carnivorous extraterrestrial ship, with E.T. attempting to rescue his Earthling companions. Even more sinister, the children were to be tormented by the aliens, with Elliot passing out from the agony. Thank heaven Spielberg came to his senses and nixed the project before it got off the ground. At number 9, Who Discovered Roger Rabbit? Who Framed Roger Rabbit is recognized for rekindling interest in animation in the late 80s, making it one of the most significant films of the previous 30 years. The live-action, animated hybrid film deserved a sequel just as much as any other Hollywood film. Who Discovered Roger Rabbit was supposed to be a sequel, but it was redesigned as a prequel. It was supposed to tell the story of how the eponymous cartoon Rabbit became the star of Toontown. Robert Zemeckis' blockbuster was repeatedly postponed until it was finally cancelled. At number 8, Gump & Co. At about the same time that Forrest Gump received its sixth At about the time that Forrest Gump received its 6 Academy Awards, author Winston Groom published Gump & Co., a sequel to the novel on which the picture was based. There were several reasons why Forrest Gump and his gang never made it to the final theater. Well, one reason is that Tom Hanks stated in an interview with Entertainment Weekly that he was not enthusiastic about the idea. Screenwriter Eric Roth has also indicated that he completed the script a day before Patriot Day and determined that it was no longer important after speaking with director Robert Zemeckis and Hanks. At number 7, Ghostbusters 3. The original Ghostbusters were almost ready to put on their latex masks for a third journey when we got a remake of the brand with an all-female ensemble this summer. It was initially supposed to be about Peter Venkman's ghost haunting the surviving 3 Ghostbusters, but other versions had the crew traveling to Manhattan, a parallel realm of New York City. For months, Aykroyd and Ramis sought to persuade Murray to take on the move, but Murray was unhappy with the script's approach. He goes on to add that the connection of the original Ghostbusters is difficult to recreate, so it never made the big screen. At number 6, Batman Triumphant. When Batman and Robin was eventually published in 1997, it received a dominantly negative reaction through both critics and fans, provoking Warner Brothers to pull the trigger on the sequel, which was to be named Batman Triumphant or Batman Unchained, and directed by Joel Schumacher, and was also set to recast George Clooney as the Caped Crusader in a battle against Scarecrow and Harley Quinn. Many of the crew from Batman and Robin were expected to reprise their roles, with Nick Cage reportedly in discussions to play Scarecrow. Although the prospect of an individual like Nick Cage playing a Batman villain is intriguing, it's pretty much a given that somehow this movie was never made. At number 5, 8. It's difficult to envisage a 7 sequel, given that the film closes with the evil man dead, the real hero in a mental institution, and his wife's skull packed into a box. It isn't the most upbeat finish, but it's a decisive one. That won't discourage the studio from attempting to release a sequel, titled 8. David Fincher was adamant about not developing a sequel to his film with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. Surprisingly, the film released in 2015 under the title Solace, starring Anthony Hopkins and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. However, it was trashed by reviewers, so it's probably for the best that 8 never made it to the big screen. At number 4, Gladiator 2. Gladiator, directed by Ridley Scott, appears to be the type of film that won't justify a sequel, since the hero's dead and gone by the end. Maximus was brought back from purgatory by the gods, according to the script. The project was reportedly shelved by studio executives because of its lavish nature. At number 3, The Godfather Part 4. Following the completion of production on The Godfather 3, Coppola and writer Mario Puzo met to discuss the possibility of a sequel. Coppola recalls that the scenario was developed for a sequel that was similar to the dual storyline of The Godfather Part 2. Unfortunately, considering Puzo's death in 1999 and Coppola's obvious disapproval for another Godfather sequel, Puzo didn't feel there would be enough material to support a sequel. If that had gone out, it could have the capacity to wash the terrible taste from The Godfather Part 3 out of everyone else's mouths. At number 2, The Mortal Instruments, City of Bones. The Mortal Instruments, City of Bones appeared prepared to benefit from the successes of Twilight and The Hunger Games by portraying Cassandra Clare's The Mortal Instruments, City of Ashes, with intentions to follow the second volume, City of Ashes. Tragically for the studio, the picture was a critical and commercial failure, only recouping a little more than half its manufactured cost in sales revenue. The creators claimed script development as the reason for the sequel's postponement. However, the series was relaunched on Freeform's Shadowhunters. And at number 1, The Golden Compass. Because children's fantasy novels were doing so well, a recreation of Philip Pullman's dreamlike fictional world appeared to be a foregone conclusion. Despite the high price tag, the picture fell short of expectations. The image was also afflicted by the Catholic Church's declaration that it was atheism for youngsters. The allegation that Weitz ignored the story's religious precepts was repudiated by Weitz himself, but the damage had already been done. The Subtle Knife and The Amber Sightglass, 2 planned sequels, have been placed on hold permanently. Well guys, thank you so much for making it to the end. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to Trending 10s, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching.